Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, Daf 15, Amud Aleph, 15, Tezvav Amud Aleph, 15a, with the words Ha'omer. Arech Kli Ze'alai, Nosin Damav, my taima, Adim Yodea She'ein Erech Lekli V'gamar, Ve'amar L'shum Damim, Mishum Hachi, Nosin Damav, Hai Erech and Hamitaltlin, Erech and Shom Mitaltlin, Miboile, Tani Erech and Shom Mitaltlin. With regard to one who says, the valuation of this utensil is incumbent upon me to donate, he must give the monetary value of the utensil to the temple treasury. What is the reason for this halacha? A person knows that a utensil has no valuation, meaning that the term valuation is not relevant to a utensil, and therefore it must be, he decided to donate money, and he says this as this expression as a reference to its monetary value, using the term imprecisely. Due to that reason, he gives its monetary value. The Gemara challenges, according to this explanation, this term valuations that are movable property is not precise. The Tana should have used the term valuations of movable property. The Gemara answers, amend the statement and teach valuations of movable property. Rav Chizda Amar Avimi Bimitapis Mitatlin Arochin Hayarachim Mitatlim Mitatlim Sharochin Voile Tani Mitatlim Sharochin. Rav Chizda says that Avimi says a different explanation. Rav's statement in discussing one who associates the object of his vow with movable property for the valuation. In other words, he took a vow to pay a valuation and did not have actual money to pay the vow, so he consecrates movable property for this purpose. The property is then appraised by 3 experts. The Gemara challenges, according to this explanation, this term valuations that are movable property is not precise. The Tana should have used the term movable property of valuations. The Gemara answers, amend the statement and teach movable property of valuations. Rabbi Abahu Amar Be'omer Ereki Alai Bako and Ligbos Bimenu Mitaltum Mishloisha Bekarkois Besora. Amar Rabbi Achmed Defti Laravino Bishlam Alapokin Biskadash Be'inyan Shloisha Erulid Shloisha Lavali. Rabbi Abahu says Rav's statement is discussing a case of one who says my monetary valuation is incumbent upon me to donate. If the priest came to collect movable property from him to pay the vow, it must be evaluated by 3 experts, and if he came to collect land, it must be evaluated by 10. Rav Acha of Difti said to Ravina, granted to take out property from consecration by redeeming it, we require a panel of 3 experts, because if an error is made in the calculation, this will lead to the sin of misuse of consecrated property. But to evaluate property to the status of consecration, why do I need 3 judges? Amrlei, he said to him, Ravina said back to him, Savar alahu mali eyule mali afuki my time dilmatoi eliole name dilmatoi. Ravina said to him, this is based on logical reasoning. What difference is it to me if he is elevating the property to consecration, and what difference is it to me if he is removing it? If he is removing it, what is the reason a court is needed? It is because perhaps he will err and set a price that is too low. When he is elevating it to consecration, there is also a concern that perhaps he will err and cause a loss for the temple treasury. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Amar le Rav Papa le'Abaya. Rav Yehuda Omer in the Mishnah there. Amar le Rav Papa le'Abaya. Bishlaima le Rav Yehuda. Hainu diksiv koyin. Ela labanan koyin lo malikashya. The Mishnah teaches that Rabbi Yehuda says that when calculating the valuation of consecrated property, one of the people consulted must be a priest. Rav Papa said to Abaya, Granted, according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, this is understandable, as is written in the Torah portion about redeeming consecrated property. Priests, see Leviticus 27:14. That's by Bechukosai, I gotta say. Over there by Bechukosai, right? Bahar Bechukosai? Bechukosai, I think. Yeah, 27:14. But according to the opinion of the rabbis, who say that any person is fit for this, why do they need the word priest? The Gemara concludes, indeed, das is a great akashia. It's a big, it's a matter difficult. Hakal kois tisha v'koyin meno hani mili amar Shmuel asar kohanim v'ksud miparasha chad gufei hanach have miut achar miut ve'ein miut achar miut ela l'rabois de'afilu tisha yisol ve'echad koyin. The Mishnah teaches that valuations of consecrated land are made by 9 judges and 1 priest. The Gemara asks, from where is this matter derived? Shmuel says priests are written in this Torah portion 10 times. Leviticus chapter 27. One instance of the word priest is for the matter itself, meaning to teach that there is need for a priest. These other instances of the word are a restrictive expression following a restrictive expression, as every additional instance of priest is a restrictive term, and there is a hermeneutical principle that a restrictive expression following a restrictive expression serves only to amplify and include other matters. Ein miot achar miot el rabbis. A restrictive expression following a restrictive expression serves only to amplify. That's a good way to. That's a good thing to gematriatize. Ein miut el achar miut el rabbis. Ein miut achar miut el rabbis. Nice. Wow. Anyway, and in this case, what is it including? It teaches that even 9 Israelites and 1 priest may perform the valuation. Maskif la Rav Huna b'reid Rav Noson ema chamisha kohanim ve'ema v'chamisha Yisraelim. Kasha Rav Huna, the son of Rav Natan, objects to this explanation according to the principle that a restrictive expression following a restrictive expression serves only to amplify, say that the procedure should require 5 priests and 5 Israelites. As the first incident of the word priest indicates an actual priest, the second time the term serves to amplify and teach that even an Israelite is fitting, and then the third time it again indicates specifically a priest. According to this analysis, the final result would require 5 priests and 5 Israelites. The Gemara concludes, indeed, this poses a difficulty. See, I don't understand why sometimes the Gemara doesn't answer and it says Teku, and sometimes it says Kasha. Effectively, they're the same. So, what's the difference between Teku and a Kasha? That's a question that I have. Adam kayotz behen, Adam mi kadosh. Adam kayotz behen, Adam mi kadosh. Amar Yabahu ba'omer dami elai, the Tanya ha'omer dami elai. Shamin oisek eved anim karbashuk, ve'eved itakash lekal kois. The Mishnah teaches that just as the valuation of consecrated land is performed by 9 judges and 1 priest, the valuation of a person for the purpose of a vow is performed in a similar manner. The Gemara asks, can a person be consecrated? Is it not possible to consecrate a person? And therefore, it is not possible to consecrate a person, and therefore, it is unclear what sort of valuation would be necessary. Rabbi Abahu says, the Mishnah is referring to one who says, my monetary value is incumbent upon me to donate to the temple treasury. as it is taught in a Braita with regard to one who says, my monetary value is incumbent upon me, the court appraises him as a slave who is sold in the market, and the price that would be paid for him as a slave is the amount he must give to the temple treasury. And as a slave is compared to land with regard to halachot of transactions, the valuation is performed by a panel of 9 experts and a priest, as is done when land is appraised. Boy Ravavin Sea Oimed Ligozes Pechamo Kigazuz Dami Ovishloisho Oi Kemechubar Deme Uvasara. Rabbi Avin raises a dilemma with regard to a person's hair that was consecrated and which is ready to be shorn. By how many judges is the appraisal made? Is such hair deemed similar to hair that has already been shorn, and accordingly is appraised like other movable property by 3 judges? Or is it considered as hair still attached to the body and accordingly appraised by 10 judges? Toshima Makdish is Avdoi Ein Moyalin Boy Bishim Vengamil Omer Moalin Bisaro Vekamilan Bisaro Amar Ligazit Pligi Shmamino. The Gemara suggests coming here a resolution of the dilemma from the Braita concerning one who consecrates his slave. A person who derives benefit from the slave is not liable for misuse of consecrated property, since the slave's body does not become consecrated. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says one who derives benefit from the slave's hair is liable for misuse of consecrated property. And we maintain that it is with regard to hair that is ready to be shorn that they disagree. The Gemara concludes, learn from here that the question of whether such hair is viewed as already shorn is a dispute between Tanaim. Neima ahani Tanai kahani Tanai. The Tanan Rabbi Meir Omer yesh devarim she'ein kikarka ve'ein kikarka ve'ein chachamim moedim lo ketzad eser gefanim tu'unois misar tiloch v'hala Omer einon ela chamesh Rabbi Meir mechayev v'chachamim oimrim chaluchu v'lekarka harei kikarka. The Gemara suggests, let us say, that the opinion of these Tanaim is like the opinion of those Tanaim, as we learned in the Mishnah in Shavuot 42b. Rabbi Meir says, these are the entities that are like land in one aspect and are not like land in another aspect. And the rabbis do not concede to him. How so? If one said to another, I gave you 10 vines laden with grapes, and I want to receive their value, and the other says they were only 5, Rabbi Meir deems the defendant liable to take an oath in accordance with the halakha concerning one who admits to part of a claim. And the rabbis say any item that is attached to the land is viewed as the land itself, and the halakha is that there is no oath in cases of claims with regard to land. Mar Sofer Kivutzes Damyan, Mar Sofer Lav Kivutzes Damyan La, Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir, Ad Kan Lo Kamar Rabbi Meir Bahasam, Kol Kama Deshavak Lahu Michachesh Kachashi, Aval Saro, Kol Kama Deshavak Lahu Ish Bochi Mishabach. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina says in this Mishnah we are dealing with grapes that are ready to be picked. One sage, Rabbi Meir, holds that they are considered as grapes that have been picked. Being movable property. And that, that actually goes according to his reasoning. This is just my own thought on that. That it is, Rameir says that you're makta davar shelo ba'alalam. He says you could sell something that has not yet come to the world. And this fits in with his idea that grapes that are ready to be picked have been picked already. He's always going into the future. He's always saying that it's something you can skip a step and that it's still considered. So it's those two ideas line up. Anyway, just a thought of mine. Movable property. One sage, Ramir holds that the grapes that have been picked, that are considered as grapes that are ready to be picked, are as considered as grapes that have been already picked. They're already picked because they're anyway. I think you got the idea. Movable property. One sage, rabbis holds that they're not considered as grapes that are ready to be picked. The suggestion is rejected. No, this cannot be proven from here, as you may even say that the opinion of the rabbis with regard to the hair is similar to the opinion of Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah. Only there, with regard to the vines, Rabbi Meir says that they are viewed as already picked because the more he leaves them on the vine, the more they become lean and deteriorate. Consequently, the grapes are viewed as picked. But in the case of his hair, the more he leaves it on the head, the more it improves. The longer the hair has greater value. Consequently, is that really the case? I don't know. It's arguable, but I guess so. They're saying it here. The more you leave hair on your head is more valuable. Consequently, it cannot be said that hair that is ready to be shorn is viewed as already shorn. Dine nafashot. How are we holding on time? Whoa. We got to fly here. Dine nafashot kapasik mitani. Lo yishno roiv zachar v'lo yishno roiv nekeva b'shlam roiv nekeva nechsif v'yarak dezish as a behema ela roiv zachar min alan. The Mishnah teaches that cases of capital are judged by 23 judges, and that an animal that copulated with a person is also judged by 23 judges. The Gemara comments, the Mishnah categorically teaches this halakha, indicating that there is no difference if that was an ox that copulated with a male, and there is no difference if it was an ox that copulated with a female. The Gemara asks, granted, the source of this for this halakha is clear in the case where it copulated with a female, as it is written explicitly. And if a woman approaches any animal and lies down with it, you shall kill the woman and the animal. Leviticus 20:16. But with regard to an ox that copulated with a male, from where do we derive that the animal is to be killed? Tichsiv kol shochev im behema mos yumas. Im einan inyan l'shochev tanayu inyan l'nishkav. Abiyapa kila rachmana v'lashim l'shochev. The question l'nishkav l'shochev. Ma sherev ho behem toy v'sorim shloisha v'eser v'shloisha. Ab nishkav ho behem toy v'eser v'shloisha. The Gemara answers as it is written: whoever lies with an animal shall be put to death. Exodus 22:18. In this verse, it is not needed for the matter of the one who actively lies with the animal, meaning the male who sexually penetrates the animal. Apply it to the matter of one who causes the animal to lie with him by being penetrated by the animal. There is, here's where we say TMI, too much information. Anyway, there is another verse in Leviticus 20:15 that explicitly addresses a man penetrating the animal sexually. This verse from Exodus is therefore understood to be referring to the case where he causes the animal to penetrate him. And the merciful one brought this forth using the active term lies to compare with one who causes the animal to lie with him to the one who actively lies with the animal, in order to teach that just as in the case of one who lies with an animal, he and the animal are to be judged by 23 judges, so too in the case of the one who causes an animal to lie with him, he and his animal are to be judged by 23 judges. There are 2 minutes that I will never get back. Shor niskal b'esrim v'shloisha. Shenemar shor yisokol v'gam bal yumas k'misas havaylim kach misas shor amar le abayil rava my dahai v'gam bal yumas l'chemisas ba'aylim kach misas shor hodasa. The Mishnah teaches that an ox that is to be stoned is judged by 23 judges, as it is stated. The ox shall be stoned, and also its owner shall be put to death. Exodus 21:29. From this verse, it is derived that just as in the manner of death of the owner, so is the manner of death of the ox. Consequently, it follows that 23 judges are necessary to adjudicate the case of the ox that is to be stoned. Abai said to Rava, from where do we know that this phrase, and also its owner shall be put to death, comes to teach that just as the manner of the death of the owner, so is the manner of the death of the ox? How do we know this? We're going to find out, God willing, on next Amud.